I'm here with the great Vagelis to talk about Full House Brew Crew. The crew has a new record, and it's called Glasgow Grin. Comes out February 6th on Rock of Angels Records. Dude, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Been a long time, as I said. It's really great.
Yeah, man, it's really great to see you. It was great to listen to the new record. So, before we talk about the record in terms of the music and everything else that goes along with it, I gotta say, I like the title of this album. Where did this Chelsea Grin inspiration for the title come from?
Uh, to be honest, I really don't know where the titles come from. I just have in my mind that on some point, I know that a phrase stuck to my mind. And I try to have strong feelings in my life in general, being happy, sad, angry, or whatever. So sometimes it peaks somehow, and there is a phrase that sticks to my mind, and that happens every time with every album. And I have one phrase or two words or one word or whatever, and then I write that thing down, and then I just let it, and then I let myself loose to see if I'm gonna get any other uh, titles, album titles, and I don't. Usually, I get one good idea, bad or whatever it is, and then it happens that everybody likes it, and we stay
Yeah,
with it.
it's badass. I mean, it doesn't get more badass than this. I mean, unless you name the album Colombian Necktie, that would be a badass record too, if you ask me. But Glasgow Grin, I think it's badass. The title really enticed me to check out the album because I'm like, fuck, this is violent. So let's check out this record. That's what I said to myself. Coming into this album, this is the band's fifth record. Did you have some ideas of what you wanted or what you needed this album to deliver in order for the band to continue to grow, expand, develop?
Yeah, we had always this idea that we need to do what we like the most, of course, and but always having short, let's say, boundaries on where we should go more extreme, more melodic, or what we should do more. And we tried a lot of things in the past, and on this one, we were thinking like, let's see how it's gonna go. We want to go heavier or we're going to go lighter, we're going to go more melodic, what we want to do now. And we had a chat with the label, and the label was like, the previous album, you your first single was When Violence Meets the Art, and it's the most aggressive song we put out so far. And label said that they think that this was the best song we ever put out. And the guys were like, why don't you go, in the heavy direction? And I spoke to the rest of the band, and everybody was on board with this one. Everybody was taking the same way. Myself, I can easily go in a darker place and a heavier and more aggressive place, but also I can go melodic. It doesn't really matter to me. And so far with Full House, we always do what feels best for us. So we were like, okay, let's try and do like 5 or 6 songs the way we feel, and then just go crazy with the rest of the 4 or 5 songs, because every time we're gonna post like 3 singles, and then we're gonna play 5 songs live from that album, so we can experiment as much as we want. So we were like, okay, let's go a lot deeper in aggression, and it was an easy path for me, to be honest.
I thought the album was really interesting. I mean, I've been listening to you guys for a while, so it's not like I came in not knowing the band or not knowing what to expect. Having said that, this album doesn't sound like anything you guys ever released before. Uh, it still has when I look at the discography of the band. So when I look at the previous four albums, you guys always had a lot of groove elements in your sound. Now, those groove elements are still there on this record. But I feel like you guys went more modern with a more, like, I hate to put a label on it, but with a more metalcore approach, more heavy break, more of a hardcore sound with
Yes.
heavier breakdowns, more simplified guitars in terms of just being heavy and straight to the point. So that really surprised me. It worked out really well, but it surprised me that that was the approach.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. This time we did two. two really weird things. We approach in the guitar playing in a really simple way, and then in a really extremely and difficult and technical way, but not in a technical way, in a modern technical way, but in our technical way. So it was the first time, as you said, we have a lot of grooves, but we kind of left this bluesy stuff a little bit outside. It didn't go away, of course, because
Mhm.
that's the way we played the past 10 years. But we wanted to experiment a little bit more with notation, not caring about too much playing on a scale. So we were like, okay, let's try this sequence of notes. And then now, okay, that sounds good, but this doesn't. So let's move that note. So to be honest, we don't even know what we're doing in terms of scales on this album, but we go really straight, as you said, hardcore, because the past few years I've been listening a lot of Lionheart, um, Kublai Khan, and then Fit for a King, We Came as Romans. So there
We've
is
been
a
listening to the same shit.
that's great. That's great. So, getting still getting the melodies. This one, for this album, I didn't push any melody. For the previous one, it was really difficult. But for two albums before, I was having the worst time of my life. I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the melodies. But this time I was like, I'm gonna let myself loose. I am not gonna push anything. So I had three melodies, I think only vocal melodies for this album. All three melodies came right like that. And I kept those, and everybody liked them. And we still love this song. So we're like, okay, melodies went good, heavy songs went good. So we are pretty happy with the outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys simplified the sound on this record. By simplifying the sound, you made it more aggressive. And by making it more aggressive, it makes it more modern because, like you mentioned, all of those bands, those are bands that are really popular right now that have a very attracting sound. I listen to the same bands you just mentioned, some of my favorites. So when I was listening to this album, I was like, holy shit. This works right now. Like this is the sound that I'm listening to right now. Perfect gym sound. And I want to ask you that. Do you listen to your own shit when you go to the gym?
The thing is this. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And on this album especially, I think it's the album that I listen to the most from every release we have ever put out. I think that's the one I've listened to the most. There's a couple of songs that the self-titled song. It was the
One of the
first.
heaviest.
Yeah, yeah. It was the first song I took the first mix, and I was like, "Whoa, okay." And I was keep listening to that song on repeat.
I honestly think this is the best album you guys ever done. At least it's. I mean, people can argue with me, but it's definitely my favorite because I think it's the one that
There,
feels more natural. It just feels like you guys went into the studio and it's like, okay, let's just jam some shit and let's make it heavy and let's have fun.
it was exactly like that. And coming saying that you like the album coming out from you, it's great because you know being in the place that you live, and we are in a different continent and in a different culture and everything. It's really nice to hit to your side that good, because that means that we do something that can go a bit higher than the bar that everybody's here. So we try to push that, and if we get there, that's amazing. So it's
I
really
honestly think this album is going to bring a lot of new fans to the band because it has a modern sound, not overly produced. It still feels very raw, very heavy, very live. It's a great live sound. Do you know what I mean? Like when I go to a show, this is what I want to hear at a show, you know? So I
I
think you guys really capture
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's great. That's really good to hear. I didn't over exaggerate with editing with the guitars. There was a few mistakes, and the producer was like, "I need one more day to edit." I was like, "Yeah, do your thing, of course, but don't overdo it," because there was a lot of parts that I was hitting so hard the strings, and I didn't care about the noise. There was some noises here and there. I was like, we need those things. I don't want to have something so plastic. That's the way I feel. That's the one I wanted, the way I wanted to sound. And but most of all, it was the way I pushed my vocals on this one, uh, I was recording a line and then I was sitting down because I was pushing so much air. It was getting all the energy out. So I was screaming one line, sitting down for once for a bit, and then get up and do the second line. And that's how I run the whole thing.
Since you mentioned the vocals, I was not going to ask you this question right now, but since you mentioned the vocals, I got to mention my favorite song because the vocals on that track are really interesting, and I want to know if that's just you or if there's any additional person there because I was blown away by the vocal performance in Distant Star, my favorite song on the record.
You know something? I was trying, but it wasn't his fault. It was our fault because we had a big problem with our previous sound engineer and we didn't have time at all. I wanted Thomas to sing the second verse and the brutal vocals on the choruses in between.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, it would fit perfectly. Maybe we can do it in the future. We make something so Thomas can, because he said yes. And unfortunately, we were so tight with the time. It was so difficult. And I was so disappointed also because of what happened. And I couldn't do that. But yeah, that's my voice. Yes.
Wow, that's incredible, dude. Like the range in that song, it sounds like there's two different vocalists on the track.
No, no, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not. It's me. All from start to finish.
Wow, that makes the song even better. I love that track. When I was listening to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
album, every time I got to that song, I would replay that song one more time before I went back before I continued the record because that song is just so good.
I'm so glad to hear that. Every member on the band was saying the same. I remember we sat down for 4 days we ran a big house and we were like, okay, let's produce that by ourselves. And I had many songs and many riffs and many ideas, and we were like, okay, let's stay together all for 4 days. And we were working on all the songs, and then I remember I had one song. But where's that song? And finally, I find out, and I played the song to the guys, and the guys were like, "Yeah, we got that. It's ready.
Yeah.
It's like this, it stays like this." I was super glad that sometimes you get that when stars align and you get full inspiration. It was one of those moments for me. I feel so proud about this song.
It's what people say, catching lightning in the bottle. You guys kind of caught
Yeah.
that with that song. You mentioned Thomas. I got to ask you this. So, your time in Wolfheart, has that impacted your music more or your lifting?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are two things that I compete with Thomas. One is bench pressing, which it doesn't seem to go that well for me, and the other is the down up movement, which again it doesn't go that well for me. But yeah, when it comes down to playing, it did actually a bit, not too much, but a bit. Yeah, he does a weird technique with a down up with the right hand, and there are a few Wolfhard songs that he does that. And it's like super aggressive, fast, and super precise. And I'm like, how the hell do you do that, man? It's like crazy. And we've been talking about that. So I had this idea one day with a riff. It's on the song The Other Side. So the chorus from the song The Other Side is inspired by that technique. And I think it's the song that maybe you could say that sounds a little bit more Wolfer. It's not too much because there are a few other elements on that song, but yeah, in terms of playing that one, yeah, it was a little bit more Wolfer.
You probably don't know this, but the last time I talked to him, I said that when you guys come to North America, we need to go to the gym together, do some weights, some bench pressing, some weights, and do a video, like just do a bench like a gym workout video. And he volunteered you to come along because he's like, no, if you want to do a video, you need to have him because he's better than me. So he's volunteered you into this video. So there's going to be the three of us.
I would definitely do that. I'm more than happy to do that. I wouldn't say I'm better. I would say that Thomas is focused on specifically bench pressing. He has been amazing on that. I'm doing more like powerlifting and strongman things. So a couple of times I won the Greece Strongest Man here were the competition. So you can say that I'm more rounded, when it comes down to strength training.
Well, next to the two of you, I look like I don't even go to the gym. So so it's like I don't know. I need to up my game before you guys come to North America so I don't look so bad.
I think you got time, man.
I got some time to work on it. I'm really impressed. As a gym goer myself, I'm really impressed with how you guys work out and how you guys look. Something for me to aspire to one day achieve that physique. And like I said, this record is the perfect album for a gym workout because it doesn't really pause. It gives you that energy and intensity from top to bottom. Is it going to be? I know obviously you mentioned when you play live, you're going to play singles and stuff, but is it difficult for you to pick 4 or 5 songs out of this record when every single song is so strong and so equal to one another?
I think in a way the band decided the singles in a way we decided which songs we want to play live. So we were like, okay, maybe we need an aggressive song and maybe a different song as a first single, but will it be good live? So I think, yeah, the 3 singles we were like, yeah, those gonna be performing live for the band, and then we were like, I was having this idea of playing the Glasgow Green as the first song of every show. So as soon as we get it, it's,
Mm.
immediately you get that the massive sound, the wall of sound. And then we were thinking about 2 more songs. Crawling was one of those. Distant Star is super difficult. I will have to simplify some riffing in order to make that happen. But we're having on the release date, we're playing here in Athens, so not enough time to learn lyrics and at the same time the songs and prepare everything. So in a way, it was difficult because the guitar player was thinking totally on the other direction. He was like, we should play those 2 songs, and we were like, okay. We were thinking about those songs, so we had that. Now there is a 4th song that's going to be taking part in a movie, a Greek movie that's going to be out on cinema 2 weeks after the release date of the album. So one of those songs that we're going to play live, it's going to be the 4th one. It's going to be Rain. So this one is going to be there too. So I was like, yeah, so let's add this one. So 4 already, and then Glasgow Green 5. So pretty much we're done for now.
Wow, that's cool. You have a track from the record and part of a soundtrack of the movie?
Yeah.
How did that opportunity come up? So
Uh,
did you have the song ready or did you make the song for the movie?
no, we had the song ready because it's a funny story because I was doing boxing and kickboxing for many years when I was younger, and I was having a training partner which happens to go to New York to study director, and he came back and he's working for a company, a big one, and they had a movie, and he called me. He was like, I need a song. And I'm like, okay, you can have one. And we were discussing about what kind of song he wants to, and he was explaining me, in a way, and I was like, yeah, I have a new album coming out, so what about this one? And it was The Rain, and he was like, yeah, that's perfect. And I talked also with the rest of the crew, and everybody liked it, and I went to the shooting, and it was really fun. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds really cool, man. That is really cool. You mentioned the release show in Athens. What's the plans for 2026? Is the year looking busy for Full House Brew Crew?
Yeah, the really good thing is that St. Thomas called us to get on the tour in September. So that boosted the band a lot. We didn't know what to expect because it was Wolford headlining. You don't really know how close you are in terms of music style. You have Before the Dawn, which is like, okay, that's a bit closer with the previous albums, but not with the latest two. And then you have Sorana, nothing to do with that. So I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. But everything went really, really good, to be honest. Really, really good. Thomas was very nicely surprised by the feedback we got. And that gives us a little bit of boost. So the next year is going to be busier. And I hope even more busy than 2025.
So I mean, I'm hoping the same thing. I think this album, in my opinion, will get a lot of people's attention. Will definitely open doors for you guys. Because like I said, I feel like this is you guys finally coming to your own. Like not that the other records weren't good, but this one to me, it almost feels like a perfect storm. Everything is in the right place at the right time.
I'm so glad to hear that because in a way, I feel like I don't want to play the same song twice. You know, I don't. We don't
Oh,
have,
you're definitely not doing that with this record. I mean, like for sure, for sure.
and we don't have, unfortunately, this massive song that went so viral and be like, okay, we need to redo the same song. So we always try to reinvent ourselves and be like, okay, let's try being more authentic. Let's try more of that. Let's try do this and let's try do that. So, as the time goes by and we keep trying and we try to evolve, and I think we get a little bit better every time. We try our best every time, but as you said, I think we this is the best so far.
What are the challenges for a band like yours when you're coming from Greece? There's a lot of great bands in Greece, a lot of great bands coming out of Greece, but it's not a huge metal market per se, especially when you compare it to like Norway or even Finland or Germany. So
Yeah,
how is it for you guys being from Greece? Does that impact the band and what you can do as a band more so than if you were from somewhere else?
I really don't know, to be honest, because uh, we're doing what we're doing. As you said, we're not a big market. That's so true. If we were living in Germany, it would be definitely different. But I don't know how much different would it be. I think the industry is really hard for everybody at the moment. If you're not a huge band like Bad Omens, for example, that you just get, the attention from the whole world. I think you have to struggle and struggle to get any opportunity that is coming out there because there's so many bands that they're willing even to pay in a small, really small festival money from the pockets to get there. So you're losing big opportunities or even medium opportunities just because somebody else is playing. But I think it's difficult for everybody. I think it's a little bit more difficult for us because we are a small market and the countries around us are small markets too. So you have Albania, Bulgaria, and then you have Serbia, and then you get Romania. So it's difficult to travel a few miles to get in a big market. You have to travel a lot. You have to go, through two countries to start talking about that. Italy is not a big market. Turkey is not a big market. So we are surrounded by countries that they're not so strong on that. We try to push it, but it's not the same. As soon as we start playing in Germany, people was getting crazy. We were like, yeah, because we did two small tours in Balkans, and we were like, yeah, that's totally different. We get huge feedback from Central Europe than we get from here.
Wow.
So I think the cost would be a lot less, and that would give us a lot more opportunities.
Well, Vagelis, I mean, I wish you guys nothing but the best with this release. I for sure have put my own stamp of approval on this album. Like I said earlier, I think this is, in my opinion, it's my favorite. Now, people can argue if it's the best or not, but to me, it's my favorite, and being my favorite makes it the best, my opinion. I just love the way it sounds. It's so modern, but so heavy and so fresh. And like you said, it falls in line with a lot of bands that I listen to these days. And that to me was such a nice, happy surprise when I pressed play on the record.
I'm so glad to hear that. I had this question from a friend the other day. She was asking me, how why you get heavier and heavier. I was like, I don't think we're getting heavier. I think I'm getting closer to the music that I wanted to make. So I think playing heavier is it's like coming to home. It's like feeling like home. I'm like, yes, I feel good with that. I feel really nice and fresh with that one.
And it comes across in how organic the album is. Once again, Full House Brew Crew, the new record, Glasgow Grin, badass title, I gotta say, comes out February 6th on Rock of Angels Records. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me. And the next time you're in Toronto, let's do that gym video with Thomas.
That would be great. Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure, man.
Oh, my pleasure. Take care. All the best.